Hey guys, Susan Sandwich here, and welcome back to my trashy YouTube channel where I don't pretend like I know what I'm doing because I have no clue what I'm doing, and ew, my head. Ugh. This is what waking up looks like. Disgusting. I woke up like this. You know what? You know what? Screw it. Yep. Be everywhere. Be free like a bird. To the day I die. Bad muck. Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. Or maybe, if you listen to Machine Gun Kelly. I don't really listen to it. I just know that song. Anyways, that has nothing to do with this video. This is about unpopular opinions, so let's get into it. Yeah, the struggle's real, but it's okay. We got this. You got this if you're in school. If you're not in school yet, you got this when you do get in school. If you don't have school, then... this is the end of the video. It's like, nah. Okay. First unpopular opinion is all social media in this self-obsessed culture of fake everything. So yeah, I think you have to take the good with the bad. I mean, honestly, some social media is worse than others. But, you know, I mean, because you could say, now it's hotspot for child predators. You know what? This is true. But also, if your kid is like 11 and they decide they're going to talk to someone that they think is 18, and then it ends up being like a 35 to 40-year-old person or older than that, then we're not victim blaming. We don't do that. But that's did you give your child the precautions and explain to them all these things? Did you show them these, you know, videos? And if you did, that's not your fault. That's just your child decided they're going to do this, or maybe they thought you smothered them, or maybe they just think that being with the older person is, you know, more exciting. I don't know. That's something they gotta fix for themselves, because you gave them all the resources and tried to protect them. But you can't necessarily just say no social media, because they can find a way to use social media. If you say no social media, then that's the same thing as like, you can't go to parties, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like, even like middle school things, like you can't go with your friends, you can't hang out with your friends and for like a long period of time. Like, if you go hang out with them at 6, your curfew's at 8, and you have to be there by 8. It can't be 8:01, you know? So that's the same type of thing. Like, if you do these things and you're that strict on them, a lot of them will most likely go behind your back and find ways to do it anyway. I feel like if they're much younger, it might be better to watch them because they might be more susceptible to things. Some people really use them, like, you know, Wattpad. That's a website for reading books and writing and, you know, getting information and graphic design and stuff. I don't think it's that good. Because I've been there since, 2016, and they haven't made changes that I feel help everyone, or the majority of people. But that's just a writing and reading website. Like, yeah, you could probably find smut and stuff in there, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, a lot of it could be educational, because there's different cultures. You get to learn about different cultural practices and traditions and language and everything. Or you get to watch a bunch of people, you know, make graphics like book covers and profile icons and trailers for videos and things, and it's really cool, and it's like, it's really exciting for a lot of people, and it's a very big website as well. It's one of the most like oftenly used all the time websites. So I think if they're using websites like that, yeah, it's still social media, yeah, it's still bullying and there's things on there. But if you're gonna get into like that versus like Twitter is crazy. Like, nobody cares about nothing on Twitter. So Twitter is a lot different than, like, say, Wattpad, except maybe on Wattpad it's like a lot more hidden, or you can't see it as much unless you're in like a certain community on the like app/website. I don't know, but you can use it for that. A lot of people will just have it just connect with people because they feel that they can't connect with people in their own lives, or like maybe if you're like me and you can't really go anywhere, especially now, you don't get to see your friends a lot or talk to them. So you want to use social media, especially if you have like a laptop or something, but you don't have a phone, so you can't necessarily call unless you use like the home phone, which I don't know about y'all, but I didn't like calling on the home phone, because even if we're not talking about anything like that should be a secret or something, I don't want somebody to just pick up the other home phone and just be listening on the other line, because that makes me uncomfortable. And it's not just a conversation with me, it's a conversation with my friend, you know? So what if my friend starts telling me stuff about like personal things that they weren't going to tell anybody else, and you know, they were confiding in me. I don't want somebody to listen in. And I just think that, you know, a lot of people use it for like mental health. Like, it can deteriorate mental health or help worsen it in some ways, but in a lot of ways it can help people feel like they're not alone, because random people will be really nice, even if they're not nice people in real life, or they just, usually they don't care about people or whatever you want to say about them. Online, at least, they'll give you a person to talk to. You know, even if you don't say a bunch of personal things, you can be very vague, and they'll sit there with you for hours and just talk to you about whatever. And, you know, that can be very helpful for some people, especially if they feel the parent's not listening, or the parent really just can't seem to understand what the issues are, and they're not like going to take them to a mental health professional or something, you know. So I think it's very important that we think about these things. Like, yeah, social media can be bad, but on the other end, it can have really good, like, it can have really good benefits. And, you know, it can help spread information, which sometimes is bad because, you know, there's a lot of fake news, and a lot of people don't research it, which is their own problem. That's the reason fake news works. It's because people don't look into things. So if you teach your kids, like, from an early age to look into things, and you make it a point to let them know, like, hey, not everything you see is going to be real. Make sure you, if it's like, you background check it, or if you're going to share something, especially if you're going to share the information, make sure you at least know about it, you know. And you're probably going to be biased because, you know, we're people. You're going to be biased regardless, but you have to be able to sit back for a second and say, okay, this is information I wasn't aware of. It sounds like it could be true, but let me go look into this and see what's going on. Because in a lot of ways, that's the only reason why fake news works. You can't blame it on fake news people. They just want to make money. I mean, yeah, there's fake news. Yeah, there's bullying. There's a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of that in person as well. Like gossip. If you spread rumors, you're doing fake news. So the fact that they want to say social media is bad because, oh, there's fake news. Well, listen, you do that in person as well. And rumors spread fast in a small population. Yes, it's worse in some ways because it'll spread faster to more populations, but that's not social media's issue. That is a root human issue that gets put on social media. Because if you think about it, social media is just that. It was media. It was like Facebook was created so that families and friends and stuff that are far away from each other could connect with each other, you know, update each other, send pictures and stuff. It's not like that as much now. I mean, it's still prevalent. But there's a bunch of other sites that are like doing the same thing, or to share like creative ideas and everything. And that's good. There's a lot of art on there. There's a lot of like do-it-yourself tips, and there's just like cooking, baking, all kinds of things are on there, just like any other site. So it depends on what you're looking for, what you're looking at, and all of that. I mean, it has its detriments, but there's also a lot of benefits. So you can't just say, oh, social media is terrible. Like, no. The issue with social media is then that people don't use it correctly, and some of them just don't want to. And then some people are okay with saying whatever the freak they want, and maybe they wouldn't say it in person, or maybe they would. But it also allows sometimes like hate to come forward, or like discussion to happen, which is good because we should be discussing things, but there's a way to discuss things. Like, some people will go in the comments and say something, and it's just like not even something that should be super controversial, and somebody wants to start an argument with them. And I think arguments are good because you're not supposed to agree with everybody. If we all agreed with everybody, like, what would be the point of anything? They have to be intelligent and smart arguments. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm gonna say something and you want to rebuttal it and say, well, no, this is what I think. Okay, cool. That's what you think. And I'm going to explain to you why I think this, and you can explain to me why you think the way that you think, you know? Because that's how you get better communication, and you're more able to understand the other side of things, you know? So that's how you get more perspectives, because without somebody saying, nah, this is how I think, or maybe you should look at it this way, you're never going to think these things, or it might take you longer to just observe and think it for yourself, you know? So, like I said, good and bad, I don't know. It's up to you to decide. It's here. It's in our society, so you can hate it all you want. But if you're using it and you're using LinkedIn, or you're using Tinder, or Bumble, or all these other random, I just know those two. I don't, Christian Mingle. if you're gonna use all these sites, then don't come talking to anybody about how bad social media is because you're using it. So, that being said, what? How do I point? Fail. You matter now and forever. I love you guys. This is the end of the video. I'm gonna do my biology homework now. If you have homework, do your freaking homework. Exactly.
Don't mind my nail. This one broke. Us did this one. And this one. Just, it just broke it. Look at it. Look at the contrast.